It's time to preview Week 8. New York Jets, Cincinnati Bengals. The Jets have a bye week next week. What is this game going to be? We're going to talk with an expert to figure it all out. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this shit.
Morning, everybody. I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. And we're joined by a special guest this morning to preview the Week 8 matchup between the New York Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a guy we've had on the show a couple of years ago. It's time to rekindle an old flame, baby. Wayne Box Miller, Cincinnati Bengals Radio Network pregame, halftime, and postgame host. He is terrific, and he joins us now. Good morning, Mr. Miller.
Morning, brother. How you doing today?
I woke up this morning, so blessed be he. That's a good day for me, sir.
I always say you wake up, you win. That's my mantra.
Okay. And by the way, before we get into Bengals, something I love about you, Wayne, is that you tweet out these quotes and post them on social media. And your latest one is "Feed your faith and your fears will starve to death." And I love your quotes because they're inspirational to me on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure a lot of your followers feel the same way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That was one of my favorites. Still is one of my all-time favorites, man, because it basically we stop and think about what do we lean into. You know, if we lean into fear, then fear becomes big. If we lean into the faith and belief, then it becomes big. It's the old adage about the wolf, the story of the two wolves. A Native American story. So, yeah, I appreciate that, man. I really enjoy posting. I think it does as much good for me as I hope it does for others.
Well, it certainly does. I can speak to it myself. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Like the video, hit subscribe. If you have questions, let them in the chat, and we'll try to get to them here on the program. Let's talk about your Cincinnati Bengals, because, boy, what an emotional roller coaster, I imagine, because any year you have Joe Burrow, you think he could win the Super Bowl, win the whole thing. Joe goes down, and all hell breaks loose, and now the Bengals have obviously seemed like they've steadied the ship here. So what has been that emotional roller coaster been like for the Bengals through the first 7 weeks of this season?
Well, it's a great description. It was a roller coaster. I think the optimism was at peak level with Joe Burrow, and rightfully so. He's arguably the best or one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, and the expectations were in place. Chase and Higgins got signed. You bolstered up the roster a little bit. You start off 2-0, and everything is pointing in the right direction after not winning opening day games for so many years. Mm-hmm. You have the injury. He goes down. Really, nobody was that concerned per se, because Jake Browning had come in 2 years ago and been a serviceable quarterback and done really well in holding the fort down. But for some reason this time around, he just did not get the job done. I always remember I did a show with Eric E.T. Thomas, who played for us and spent some time with the New York Jets, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
He told me years ago, once they get enough film on you, they'll figure you out. And I think that might have been what happened with Jake Browning. They just have enough film on him. And maybe I think he was pressing a little bit because he knew that this was a year where everybody had high expectations. It didn't work out. So there's a roller coaster going downhill. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, here comes Joe Flacco, who's should be called the quarterback of the North, because he's played now for the Ravens. He's played for the Browns. He's played for the Bengals. And I told Mike Brown, the owner, I said, the only thing left to do, I guess, is for you guys to trade him to the Steelers. But the way he's playing right now, he's not going anywhere, man. He gave this team a boost. I think because he's a veteran. I think because he's seen it all, he's done it all. He came in with no expectations. Like, look, I know I'm a hired hand. I'm here to do a job. But I think because he had been a Super Bowl winner, that credibility walks in the door with you. And so he walked in with that credibility, with the players believing that this guy could get us some stability at the quarterback position until the other Joe gets back. I think that the roller coaster is now on the way up, and as you saw Thursday night, his ability to figure out how to connect with Chase and Higgins and simply just throw him the daggone ball has everybody excited all over again.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I love that quote. Speaking of quotes, I love that quote from Joe Flacco, and I'm going to paraphrase, but a lot of people basically overrate everything that you need to play the quarterback position. He says sometimes it's just me throwing the ball and them catching it, them being, of course, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. That strategy seemed to work pretty well on Thursday Night Football. There was like 40 targets between T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, for Pete's sake. Those guys look pretty good, and Joe Flacco found a way to get him the ball. Yeah.
Question about it. I think what Joe Flacco knows that I think Brownie may have struggled with because he was trying to be perfect. Joe Flacco knows if I get the ball in the area of great receivers, they want the ball. They will come down with the ball, the 50-50 ball, the 70-30 ball, whatever. And he realized that Chase and Higgins both also have great hands. So they have the ability to grab this ball here before it even gets here. And he said he was amazed at that, the ability of them just snatch the ball out of the air. Whereas a quarterback, he knows now, if I can get the ball to them, near them, and they can just suction cup that ball, that it's going to be a completion and we're going to move those chains, man. I tell you, I think many people have said this is the best wide receiver tandem he's ever had. So he's like a kid in Christmas as well. Like, and I get Jamar Chase and T. Higgins like every week. Oh my goodness.
And I'd be feeling the same way if all of a sudden I could get this old creaky arm to work. I'd be feeling the same way if I was Joe Flacco for sure too. One of the criticisms of Joe Flacco, rather, the Cincinnati Bengals was their offensive line protection. And when they acquired Joe, you're like, oh boy, Joe, this older guy, how is that going to come together? And again, obviously it did very much so, certainly in the Thursday Night Football game. And then, of course, they had the first game before that for Joe Flacco on his debut against the Green Bay Packers. And only a matter of days after being traded and learning his teammates saying, oh yeah, go start at quarterback this Sunday. So how is the offensive line performed with Joe Flacco, and how much of a strength is that heading into this Jets game?
It's amazing how well they block when the quarterback gets rid of the ball. It's amazing. Well, who would ever thought that would minimize sacks?
Yeah.
But what happened is Joe Flacco knows how to get rid of the ball. He understands pressure. He, in his mind, most really good quarterbacks have a clock in their head and they know I need to get rid of the ball. And you've been around football long enough. One of the best throws in football is out of bounds. Still one of the best throws in football. Live to play another down. You don't have to try to make a great play. He knows that. He'll throw it out of bounds or he'll dump it down to take the check off. And what that does for the offensive line, obviously, is thank you. I mean, you realize that maybe we didn't win this matchup, but as the game wore on, it was the Bengals offensive line that minimized the vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think they had one or two sacks. I think two sacks. The whole, and everybody thought, oh God, Joe Flacco's going to get killed. This offensive line is horrible. Well, they rushed for over 100 yards, and Chase Brown averaged 9.8 yards a carry. They ran the ball, which, again, as we know in football, it makes play action believable if you can run the ball. So I think a lot of it has to do with, one, Flacco knows how to get rid of the ball. Two, the offensive line is better than people may be giving them credit for. Three, running the football is part of a successful blocking scheme, because if a linebacker is blitzing or a corner blitz is coming and they have to wait to see if it's play action, then you have enough time for them to get in position to engage, to get down, get ready for a pass blocking scheme versus straight ahead run blocking. So, football, what I've always loved about football is like a car engine. There's 11 moving parts out there. Now, as a radiator, it's the fan belt, it's the water pump, it's the spark plugs. Everything has to be firing right for the engine to work. And I think what you're seeing with Joe Flacco is, hey, I know how to get all of these moving parts working collectively. And I'm really excited to see what he does now that he's had another week plus, because playing on Thursday, you get a few extra days to see what they've installed and implemented. The chemistry obviously is a lot better with Chase and Higgins, and he will use the tight end, Noah Fant. I mean, he took advantage of the tight end position. He is going to move the ball around the field based on who's open, not who has the highest contract.
Which makes a lot of sense. Again, we have Wayne Boxmiller, part of the Cincinnati Bengals radio broadcast team, joining us here on the program. Now, let's get one more in here on Flacco. And Mike Tomlin was, what's the way to put this? Let me not put it anyway. Let's hear from Mike Tomlin himself on his thoughts on the Browns and Bengals trade for Joe Flacco. Let's go to Mike Tomlin.
You know, to be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
That was uniquely transparent by Mike Tomlin, letting his feelings be known. You normally don't hear head coaches that blunt to the media and in such an honest way. What was your reaction to that, Wayne?
Well, I thought Mike Tomlin was telling the truth. I mean, he knew what was going to happen Thursday night with Joe Flacco because of the veteran presence of Joe Flacco and his experience being in the AFC North. And if you look at his record as a Raven and Brown against the Steelers, he's done quite well. But the main thing is, and I get it, I agree with Mike Tomlin in the sense that you typically don't do that. Ask the New York Giants about Saquon Barkley, about letting him go and sign with another team in the division. You typically don't do that. And I think what Mike Tomlin knew was if we pressure this quarterback, he is going to get rid of the ball. He knows what to do. But what I don't think Mike Tomlin anticipated was the Bengals firmly establishing a run game and creating a problem for them because they were gashing them up front.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. That Mike Tomlin and you talk about him gets me emotional sometimes here, Wayne. So I appreciate that. Trey Hendrickson, he's a guy that's been as productive as any pass rusher in football the last handful of years. It's been was a terrific signing by Cincinnati, getting him from New Orleans, and he's blown up to be the player he is. How has he performed this season in your mind, Wayne?
Well, after everything with the contract delays and things, he came right out of the gate doing what Trey does. He's had multiple sacks in a couple of games, and he didn't play against the Steelers, and yet they were still able to make things happen. So Trey Hendrickson is one of those guys, man, that has a high motor. God gives some people a high motor, and he gives some people no motor at all. But Trey Hendrickson is going to show up every game, and what makes him so good is as relentless in the fourth quarter as he is in the first quarter. Some guys start the game off, and I mean they're going 90 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden they throttle down in the third quarter, and by the fourth quarter they've got very little gas in the tank. Well, Trey Hendrickson, he must be a hybrid or EV, because I tell you what, man, in the fourth quarter you really get excited because it seems like he finds another gear. And last year, and I think one game this year, they had rookies or one-year guys on that end with no help. And what are you doing? Like, I understand the scheme and you work on these blocking techniques, but that's Trey Hendrickson. Like, he led the NFL in sacks. He's in the top 3 in sacks the last few years. He is relentless. You need help on that side, but if I'm a Bengal fan, don't give your guy no help. That's okay. Just leave him over there.
You seem okay with that. I'm sure you do. You talked about the entry point this season for Trey and the contract stuff, the business side of the National Football League. Was he received in any other kind of way by his teammates because sometimes you hear that sort of criticism on the outside that like, boy, you're worrying about yourself. What about your teammates? What about this, that, or the other? How did the Bengals receive him when he returned? Was there any kind of ill will or anything of that nature?
They love Trey. And here's the thing about football players, as you know, football players respect work ethic. Football players respect results. Trey Hendrickson, work ethic, second to none. Results, we all know about the results. He's grounded in his faith. He's not a guy that's going to go out, hang out, and do all those kind of things. But when Trey Hendrickson comes to work, when Trey Hendrickson comes to play, you're going to get the best at that position and arguably one of the best in the NFL. So they were happy to have him back because they knew what he represented for that defense.
which I would imagine, right? They needed that help. He delivered that help, and he seems like he's one of the leaders on the team as well. One of my favorite recent Bengals draft picks was Dax Hill, this versatile Swiss Army knife that could do a little bit of everything. How has he transitioned to the NFL level?
Dak, he was coming along great, and then he had the knee injury, and now he's coming back and getting back into well. He just makes big plays, man. I mean, he's like you said, he's so versatile. I mean, he can line up in the slot, he can line up in the corner. I mean, he could even do safety if need be, but they moved him more to corner. He has range. He's long. He's quick. He's explosive. Even with the coming off the knee injury, he's looking to regain everything that made him a number one pick. And the other Michigan defensive back DJ Turner is having a remarkable season. He's off to a great start. I mean, 5 passes defended against the Packers, and he comes up big with an unbelievable interception against the Steelers, where he not only took the ball from DK Metcalf, arguably one of the strongest receivers in the NFL, but he got the feet down and got credit with the interception. So, being a Michigan fan, I'm really proud of these two guys, and they've done well. And I think, again, Dax will continue to play better, even though he's playing well, is simply because he's coming out of that knee injury, and you have to get to a point where you don't think about it, you just play. And I think he's at that space and place now.
Wayne, Zach Taylor said all the right things, and that's what a coach should be saying. I tuned into his first press conference of the week on Monday when you guys were going through a walkthrough, and the media is saying, "Oh boy, 0-7 Jets coming in, yikes!" Like basically another preseason game coming up here, and Zach immediately shut that down. Said, "Absolutely not. This is a very talented team. I don't look at record. I watch the tape, and I see a really good team. I see," and he started complimenting the coaching, this, that, or the other. But wait, how do you not look at this? Is the only winless team in football. How could the Bengals not look at this game sideways as opposed to they're coming off a Steelers game? That was pretty important. Divisional game, short week, prime time. Now they're playing a 1:00 game against the Jets team that hasn't found a win this season. How can you not possibly look at that differently based on the results of what the Jets have performed so far?
Any given Sunday. You guys disappointed me. I wanted you guys to win last week, so you'd come in here with a little bit of that pressure off. But now coming in here, and look, one of the things I say about the New York Jets, there have been a couple of games they got beat, but the last 2 games they only lost by a combined 9 points. So they've been in those games. They've got a defensive line that is still one of the most respected in all of football. They are good, and they are good enough to win. They are going to win. It's just a matter of time. And I remember the year that this was some years ago. Kansas City was coming in. They were undefeated, and everybody was touting them. And at that time, this was pre-Joe Burrow. The Bengals were bad. We were losing. Oh, they're going to get killed. The Chiefs are coming in. The Bengals were a wounded dog, much like the Jets, desperate. And the hometown crowd, obviously, you're on the road, but the hometown crowd got behind them, and they upset the Chiefs. You just cannot take a chance on this being an automatic W because the Jets need a win. The Jets have been close to a win. The Jets are tired of losing, and I can only imagine what the media is doing in New York. Like I said, Eric Thomas, who used to be one of my clients before he became a radio co-host, man, I'd go up there, and the media in New York, it is what it is. And so many players cannot handle it, and those that do become known for it. I graduated from Morehead State University with Phil Simms, who they just named a stadium after this past weekend. But, Phil Simms went up there and figured it out, man. But I am just concerned that the New York Jets as a team have this opportunity to get their first win if any player, not the team, if any player out there thinks that for them this week is a dial it down, throttle down week or an off week. And I don't think Zach or any of the coaches or captains are going to let that happen because many on this team know what it was like pre-Joe Burrow. And let's be honest, they know what it was like pre-Joe Flacco. I mean, win 2 games and then lose 4 straight. So we're not that far removed from a bad taste in our mouth of going winless for a while.
Yeah, fair enough. And it all comes back full circle. The Jets' potential starting quarterback, nothing's been officially named yet, but there's a lot of rumors it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor was initially drafted by the Baltimore Ravens to be Joe Flacco's backup, and now they have both been reunited on Sunday in this weird Jets-Bengals game, very likely. What's your temperature on Tyrod Taylor? Year 15. He has been doing it for a long time.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I was more concerned about him if he was going to be named a starting quarterback because of the experience. It's just like Joe Flacco. I'm not saying he's at Joe's level, but when you've got experience in the NFL, there's certain little things that you do, and you may not win the game. The goal is don't lose the game. Don't make the bad throw. Don't hold the ball so long. Don't try to throw the ball deep in double coverage or things of that nature. A veteran does that. I think that for all the attributes that Fields may have with his feet, mostly, I think that Tyrod Taylor is more of a quarterback that is suited to navigate the game. And when I say navigate it, I mean not just the play fakes and the decisions and talking to your teammates and whatever. Veterans just give you that a lot of times. So that's another reason you have to look out for that. His familiarity with Joe Flacco. There may be one nugget in there that he can tell the defense about Joe Flacco that could help. So, again, you can't walk out on the field in the NFL and put a W before the game. You can only put a W in the NFL after the game. And so I'm really concerned, to be honest with you, not as if I'm fearful, but concerned that the New York Jets are good enough to win a football game. I just don't want it to be good enough this week.
Okay, well, I know we're on opposite sides of our desires for the results of Week 8. That is for sure. Let's go back to Joe Burrow for a second. Is there legitimate optimism there in Cincinnati that if Joe Flacco can just keep this car, all the car analogies today, just can keep this car warm, can keep the engine revving, that Joe Burrow will burst through the doors and say, Joe, thanks for keeping the car warm. Hop in this fully revved, well-oiled machine and take off. Is there legitimate optimism in Cincinnati about that?
I might add with heated seats in this weather. So uh, I think that that decision will come, and when Joe Burrow's ready, Joe Burrow will play. But in saying that, I'm also going to say, what Joe Flacco has done in 1 week or 2 weeks actually, because the second half of the Green Bay Packer game, he showed what was possible. We all left the Packer game thinking, "Oh my goodness, is this what is possible?" And yes, it is. He came back on Thursday and delivered the goods. I think it puts Joe Burrow and the team in a better position not to rush Joe back. So while Joe Cool is rehabbing, they calling Joe Flacco Joe Calm. That's what Dan Pitcher, the offensive coordinator, is calling him because he just seems to be so comfortable with everything around him. I think you take your time. When Joe Burrow's ready to get back out on the field, you do that. But in the interim, man, live in the now. Live in the now. Joe Flacco is playing a good brand of quarterback. He's got the confidence of the team, both sides of the ball. He's got the confidence of the coaches. And so if he can put together back-to-back games like he did Thursday night and complement that with this Jets game, this team can get some momentum. And I'm telling you, the Steelers have a tough schedule over the next 4 or 5 games, and you can get right back in it. The most critical piece is right now, the Bengals are 2-0 in the division. And so if this comes down to a race, they start with the division. Last year, the run we made at the end, peeling off all those wins and then hoping Denver would lose or whatever, is because we were in a tiebreaker situation, which you don't ever want to be in. Control your own destiny. We're 2-0 in the division. You've got a good momentum going down that path because you got one more with the Steelers, one more with the Browns, and then 2 with the Ravens. So there's a chance if they can win this division, which is in front of them, not behind them, they can still get in the playoffs. And then if Joe Burrow is ready by that time, because we don't know, and to be honest with you, he's out. He was wearing the boot on Thursday night. What does that mean? Who knows? He may have known Joe Burrow. He might have said, hey, I need to be out here just for my guys or whatever. But there have been no medical updates, and they probably won't ever be, and I respect that.
Yeah, it makes sense not to give out any additional information more than you need to. So I totally understand that. I don't know if this stat is real, but I came across it, and it's just sort of jarring, and I'm trying to make sense of it. So I'll throw it over to you, Wayne, and you tell me if this is real or if you guys have heard about this. That the Bengals have a 9-game winless streak following mini bye weeks after playing on Thursday Night Football. Is that a real stat? And if so, what does that mean? Why would that be a thing? Because you would think additional rest would be beneficial both from injury and just in general for the players.
Yeah, and I'm doing my prep work now, and I'll have to look at that stat. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't think about. Like the Steelers are now under Tomlin 0-7 on Thursday night road games. Um, I always say statistics only matter after they happen. So, statistic now, but will it matter after this game? We don't know, because if they win the game, then that statistic goes out the window. I will say this. Um, I'm always concerned when you play a game against a rival because you give so much. I used to often say when the Steelers and the Ravens played back in the days of Ray Lewis and Joey Porter and those guys, I would always tell whoever won that game, I'd pick them to lose the next game because it takes too much out of you. But I think the way that the Bengals won this game at 33-31, and it was all hands on deck, and it was coming down to the end, and you just take so much out of you. But having those few extra days to recover, I think this team is more on an uptick because of Joe Flacco. Maybe that statistic would be true if it was the quarterback that had been there all season long. But this is the third quarterback this team has had in 8 games. So, and really, if you go back, the third quarterback they've had in 6 games. So, it's a different element when you put that statistic against the other metrics in terms of third quarterback and this combination of Flacco, Chase, and Higgins. There's just so many different elements that again, for me, statistics, I'll look at them after the game is over.
And to your point, coming off like a divisional game that you were just discussing about Thursday Night Football, do you think that is more a physical letdown because of what that is invested physically, or is it mental, emotional, everything that you pour into those division games that they say counts as a time and a half every time you play those versus your normal regular season opponents?
Yeah, I think it is emotional. I think if you look at it, number one, Thursday night is prime time. Everybody's watching. Your peers, the whole nine. Number two, it was a whiteout, so it was a theme night. It was all kinds of white banners around the bottom of the bowl, the white jerseys, the white helmets, and then it is a rival. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's another element of getting amplified for this game. And yes, then it's a division game. So there's a lot that goes into a game like that in prime time with so much at stake. And yeah, you use a lot of gas, you burn a lot of fuel, but you've got time to refuel. And I think that for a game like this to come on the backside of a rivalry game is what concerns me, because you still need as much in the tank to play the Jets as you did to play the Steelers, simply because of where the Jets are as a team. They are coming to get their first win, and they're going to use what they have to do that. And the Jets have always played us tough. If you think about it, the Jets have always played us tough because the Jets like to run the football. They loved, even before Coach Glenn got there, they like to run the football, and they ran it well against us. Their front has always been very good. So you've got elements, and I've always believed this. There are certain teams that match up well with certain teams. I don't care what the records are. I always use the Cleveland Browns as an example. It doesn't matter what the Cleveland Brown record is. They seem to match up with us up front because of Myles Garrett and their Denzel Ward and those guys on the backside. They seem to match up well with us all the time. I don't care what the record is. And so it's just a matchup. With us, we seem to match up with the Kansas City Chiefs well. And we've always played them tough. So, this matchup, again, fans may be looking past this. Pundits may be looking past this, but I can assure you, after losing 4 straight games, the Bengals are not looking past anybody. They're trying to win 2 in a row, recover from 4, and then start to win games. And on Thursday night, they're looking to win Sunday. They got the Bears after that. They want to go into that bye week. If they can go into bye week 3 in a row, man, I mean, that is exactly where this team would love to be.
And Wayne, last one here. Again, I know you're rooting for the Bengals. I'm rooting for the Jets, and we're just sort of here on this show. But do you have any advice or insights? A lot of the fans are down right now at 0-7 where they are. The Jets have their bye week following this Bengals game, and that's right around the trade deadline. So there's a lot of questions, obviously, revolving around the team that are in the Jets position. Do you have any advice for the downtrodden New York Jet fans right now at 0-7?
Yeah, you should be used to this. No, I'm just kidding. I I think that you have the right coach. I really believe that, man. And I think that unfortunately, New York is not a town built on patience. And that is the confluence here is that here's a coach that has a plan, but we also know plans take time. Here's a fan base that says, well, the plan should be like a microwave hot dog. It's just throw it in there and put it on 37 seconds, pull it out, eat it, and get out the door. Give this team and this coach some time to find the types of players that he needs to make this team consistently good, not temporarily good. And if they can just hold on to that trust and faith in the coach, Coach Glenn, because I just tell you, man, he understands the game. He knows the game. You saw what he did in Detroit, what he did as a player, what he knows to do, but it takes time.
That's good advice. Well, Wayne, I always appreciate when we get these Jets Bengals chats and we get to come together. I respect your work. You're one of the best in the business, and I love every time we've crossed paths. So good luck on every game outside of this Sunday. Good luck the rest of the way. But I appreciate you taking the time this morning to join all our fans this morning.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Jay Tufele, man. He was here for so long. He's one of my young kids. He calls me OG, but just an outstanding young man. And I just so happy for him that he's getting an opportunity to display his talents. But yeah, he's a good young man, and I'll be rooting for him to a degree.
I appreciate the candidness and the honesty, Wayne. That's what makes you phenomenal. So thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with the rest of your prep. Getting ready for the Jets Bengals game here in Week 8.
My brother, take care. Talk to you soon.
There he is, Wayne Boxmiller, an absolute legend. We'll continue to stay on and take your phone calls and things of that nature. Again, a big shout out to Wayne Boxmiller for joining us live here on the show. I'll tell you guys this. There are not a lot of people that are willing to get up live. That was not a pre-recorded interview. That was a live interview that just took place live here on whatever morning it is, Thursday morning, October 23rd, a little after 8. So an absolute pleasure to have Wayne here on the program. A legend, an OG. And it was great interacting with him a couple years ago when we crossed paths. And I just said, man, I want to talk to this guy as much as I can. He is a fountain of information. And gave it to the Jets. That made me cry a little, to be honest. Any advice? He's just such an insightful guy. Any advice at 0-7? You should be used to this. Ooh. Oh, that hurt right in the chops. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for that. I laughed on the outside, but I cried on the inside. That's true. Wow. We'll have more Jets Bengals preview that's coming up at 3:00. We have another Cincinnati Bengals analyst that'll be joining us for Boy Green Meets Woody at 3:00. And yes, as Joey R says, hit the freaking like button, people. We've got a couple hundred people in the room watching across our social media platforms. Make sure you guys like the video on YouTube. Again, that gets overlooked all the time. Everyone's talking about all these different ways to contribute. The easiest way to contribute, the free way to contribute. Everyone can do it right now. We have 30 likes, but 100 people in the room. Make sure you guys like that video. It's right there on your screen, baby. And look at this. Another way to contribute is with the memberships flowing from the high heavens. Our number one Austrian Jet fan, baby. G Money. You're now a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. And oh yeah, that's another raffle ticket for the contest for our main squeeze, our number one Austrian Jet fan, who now has 38 raffle tickets to our contest. Appreciate you, number one Austrian Jet fan. You're the best, baby. And I'm wearing your Austrian gear that you sent me. Quentin Williams doing a set dance. I'm hoping we can do a little bit of that on Sunday. Number one Austrian Jets fan. I'm hoping so. That'd be terrific for a Jets dub. That'd be beautiful. Let's see if we could get some of that Williams brother dancing. Quincy also activated off of IR. We'll see if he's healthy enough to play in the game. The early reports were he would be. but we'll see if that is indeed true. Yes. Let me see. We got a question coming in here. Joey R. BG, do you really believe the team will have a chance against Cincy? I absolutely do. I think that and we haven't talked about this because I guess it happened after our programming yesterday, but Aaron Glenn is playing coy. He's not going to reveal who the quarterback is. Rich Cimini reports it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. Justin Fields and all the players were informed, hey, if you're asked about the quarterback situation, refer back to AG. So, they're playing the game, but I believe they're really going to go to Tyrod Taylor. So to have a veteran out there, Wayne did a really good job of explaining it, but that you just sort of have a guy that's been around forever. He shouldn't be making the backbreaking mistakes. He does have 3 turnovers this year, or more than that, actually. He has 4 turnovers this year because he had the 2 picks against Carolina. He had the pick 6 against Tampa Bay, and then the fumble strip sack. So he has 4 turnovers on the season. But normally, he's supposed to provide this sort of steady Eddie floor. And we got some interesting news. I assume Garrett Wilson would totally be out this week, but the commentary by one Aaron Glenn seems to suggest that Garrett has a better chance than I thought. For week 8. That would be, of course, massive news if he's available. But yes, I do. And number 1, Tyrod Taylor, hopefully bringing some stability to quarterback. I don't think Tyrod Taylor is great, but Justin Fields is sort of unplayable right now with how he has performed. So Tyrod, I think, will bring something to the offense. Well, it's going to be hard to bring something less to the offense. They haven't scored a touchdown in 2 weeks. And then on the other side, Joe Flacco, if he has time, he's going to pick this Jets defense apart. And they've played very well the last 2 weeks. But Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are 2 phenomenal talents at wide receiver, and they're coming off spectacular games on Thursday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But if you could get to Joe Flacco, if you could create pressure, Wayne's guy, Jay Tufele, who actually is battling a knee sprain right now. I'm not sure if he's even going to be available for this game, but we haven't seen that Jay Tufele splash since the preseason, so that would be nice to see. But I absolutely believe that the Jets have a chance against Cincinnati. Now, that chance may be more difficult if Sauce is unavailable. He's in the NFL's concussion protocol. He's not officially out, but looking a little spotty, which means it'll be up to Brandon Stevens, Azaria Thomas, and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. to combat some of the best receiving tandem in the National Football League. Whoa, Hop on Pop getting involved with some super chat action here on the show. Wowza. All right, there you go, baby. Wow. Hey now, take the like button to Pound Town. Hop on Pop getting himself in the raffle. He's got 3 raffle tickets for himself. So Hop on Pop, appreciate you very much. Thank you for getting involved there on the program. Yes, sir. That's the free way to contribute, folks. If you watch a show and you enjoy it, even if you hate it, I mean, I really, you like it, hate it, anything, hit that like button, baby. Hit that like button. Which I appreciate. Shout out to Hop on Pop. Keep those super chats flowing. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that money sign. It's a final choice. Gift channel memberships and super chats and everything else of that nature is all fair game. Why don't we do this? There's more questions, and I'll answer those, but I do want to open up the phone lines because we won't be able to do one of those crazy 2-hour shows today. That won't be possible. So we're going to be capped off at a certain point because we got some other interviews going on today, including a very big interview. So again, guys, join the Boy Green Coffee Club. We've got a massive interview coming today at 4 o'clock. It'll be after Boy Green meets Woody. I'll be recording the interview privately, pre-recorded at 4 o'clock, and then it will be immediately posted after the fact. We're talking to an absolute legend that you guys see on your TV screens every single day. He is a New York Jets guy, and he will be giving us all kinds of wonderful insights. If you are a Boy Green Coffee Club member, you have access to that interview before anyone else, and then it will eventually go to the public. So, guys, enjoy that conversation. I can't wait for that one. That's going to be a real treat later today. So, again, another perk of being a Boy Green Coffee Club member. Let's hit the phone lines, and then we'll take your phone calls next here on Boy Green Daily.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets. Boy Green, Fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go!
That fires me up every day. I'm so glad that's become a new part of the rotation of things every day that I get to hear. That always gets me fired up, so appreciate it. And shout out to Hop on Pop. Those contributions have been donated to the #1 Austrian Jet fan. Super cool. Thank you, Pop, for that super chat and all your memberships going over to our #1 Austrian Jet fan, who now has 41 raffle tickets, thanks to Hop on Pop. So very nice job by the Pop there. Appreciate that. Another super chat coming through. Tony Sturgis.
Wow.
For sure. Obviously, Joe Flacco is another one of those players that have played for both sides of Jets and Bengals. And you get some good receivers like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And apparently, according to Albert Breer, Joe Flacco had the choice. Like, hey, do you want to accept this trade to the Bengals? Basically, if you don't want to do it, we won't do it. And he accepted it. Which, by the way, why wouldn't he? Be a backup to Dylan Gabriel or throw to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase? Not sure that was a hard choice, but either way, I mean, that, I don't blame Flacco at all. Keep the good fight alive. Keep any team that's willing to give you opportunities should be good for business as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for the super chat, Troy Sturgis. You know, I have 2 raffle tickets for our contest this month with, by the way, let me throw that up on the big board real quick to see what you guys are competing for this month in terms of the raffle. And it is these items right. Cha! Here you go, baby. Random vintage Jets player t-shirt. Boy Green Woody tailgate package. That is the t-shirt that you see on the right side of your screen. Koozie, Jets coaster, bottle openers. All that's available. A vintage New York Jets NFL Combine authentic cold gear long sleeve with hood and the 1975 official New York Jets yearbook cover. All that's going to somebody on November 1st, and then we will immediately announce our next giveaway. And folks, the next one, that is spicy. Oh, man. And hopefully a partnership I can announce with that one as well coming up. So I think you guys are going to really dig it, baby. Appreciate it, though. Thank you for the super chat so far. Let's go to the phone lines. Up first, Indy to kick us off here today.
Wow, I get to kick it off. That's something special.
Hey, butter my buns and call me a biscuit, Indy. What's going on?
What's going on, Biscuit? You know, I was watching another show yesterday, and guest after guest after guest continued to talk about they want to get rid of AG and bring a coach in that will build. They continue to talk about building a culture and building, and you know, and it kind of brought to mind that none of these guys have ever built anything. Because building something is a process.
Yeah, takes time.
Whether you're building a house, whether I'm building a high horsepower motor for the truck, whatever it is, you don't just go buy a piece of land and wake up the next morning and the house is built. So if you want to talk about building something, then you better have patience. You can't sit here and tell me that you want to bring in this new coach every this coaching rotation that the Jets do, and then and this falls on Woody too. But you can't sit there and give coaches just a couple of years to change this culture, and then or 7 games. I mean, they're literally want AG out in 7 games. And obviously they can just go find a offensive minded coach that's going to come right in and change the culture, but we have to build it. We and that's not how it works. And I kept hearing this Mike McCarthy. So I dove into a little rabbit hole of Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl in Green Bay. A Super Bowl. He took over a pretty good team, and won 1 Super Bowl with a Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, maybe he didn't do so well for us, but he had one Super Bowl with a Hall of Fame quarterback, and then went to Dallas, who had one of the always has a premier team
Mhm.
and didn't win anything in Dallas. So what makes Mike McCarthy somebody that's been a head coach since 2008
Yeah,
for two different teams with Hall of Fame, you know, players around him and
yeah,
won Super Bowl. Now, yes, that's one more Super Bowl than we've won here.
sure.
Um, he didn't, but he didn't win any in Dallas in his 5 years. He was run out of Green Bay. He was run out of Dallas. So why? What makes him the most appealing guy out there? I don't understand, BG. Maybe you can help me.
I I don't know specifically about Mike. I mean, I know the people that are clamoring for a head coach that has done it before because Woody's only hired one of those people ever in his 25 years of ownership. That was Adam Gase, who's terrible. Adam Gase checks off two boxes that no other coach has checked off in 25 years for the Jets: an offensive coach and a retread. The Jets have done neither of those things outside of Adam Gase. So I get the not having someone learn on the job. But again, that goes back to your building analogy that you were just talking about. Like building things takes time. There is plenty of successful first year John Harbaugh in Baltimore. Like it's been a long time, but he was a first year guy. He just got his opportunity to be a head coach and it worked. And now he's been a head coach forever. Mike Tomlin, he's a first time head coach. He was not a head coach in any other place. He was a head coach with Pittsburgh and he's been a head coach forever. So teams took risks, hired these guys, and allowed them to build. And then they just kept building, and boom, now they have these long careers. So I don't know. I guess it's the retread thing. It's the offense thing. I think it's checking those boxes again. I assume, and the past Super Bowl credentials, which I don't know if the putting the ring on the table in the past does anything for anybody, but I guess it did happen in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, you're just not going to go out there and find this Andy Reid. Andy Reid's not going to leave Kansas City just to magically come to the Jets. It's just not,
Yeah,
Shanahan out west. He's not going to
sure.
just come. It's not that easy to come here. So you've got to give AG time to fix. To build, and right now he's starting with the forms. We're not even pouring concrete for the foundation yet. We're just putting forms up,
Yeah,
and starting to build the foundation of it. And these people are wanting to put hang curtains in the windows, and start decorating. And we haven't built anything yet. So
yeah.
give this. I think we need to give it time.
I agree. By the way, we have
I
a
would like.
message coming in. Badshot says, I built this last night. It appears to be a nice little burger there and some fries.
Oh
He
yeah.
built that and then took that down, apparently. I'm seeing some red on the outside of the burger. What kind of a burger is this, Badshot? I'd love to see some more details. But Badshot did say he built this last night. Yeah.
We Badshaw and I were talking yesterday, and we think that in your Discord, if you could put a challenge Chef Kev, whatever you want to call it, folder in there, so we can
Yeah.
drop our spirits or whatever in there, and let Chef Kev do his food rating on
Ooh, I
through your
like that.
Discord.
Yeah.
Um, on a different note, I have a
Yeah.
question for you, the BG. What do you think is the most unbreakable sports record?
The most unbreakable sports record. Well, this will probably be surface level obvious, I guess, but it'll be Emmett Smith's or not single season, Emmett Smith's all time rushing record. I believe that one of 18 plus thousand will stand forever now. And
That could go
maybe,
for any sport,
we're
not
going to
just
have
not
ebbs
just
and flows.
football, but any sport. If you added
Any sport.
the four sports, the four major sports, what's your number one most unbreakable record?
I mean, that one would be up there, but Pete Rose's, oh my God. Pete Rose, what's that Pete Rose one? My brain's not putting together right now. Pete Rose,
Most games bet.
his hit
Okay,
record. Yeah,
most
he's
games
got
bet on.
4,256 hits. He surpassed Ty Cobb at 85. Or it could be your gambling that you're suggesting.
Right.
That could have
Yeah.
been another one. Yeah.
But I think it's probably going to be a baseball record, and I'm probably going to go. It's a toss up between either Nolan Ryan strikeouts or Cy Young's wins. But I think
Yeah.
those are the most unbreakable. Well, I just wanted to hear what your thoughts were on the most unbreakable record was.
Yeah, which by the way, I have now just created it. The channel has created the Chef Kevin Gilbert food rating something or rather. I did just create it, so now it's in there. So that is open for everybody. Feel free to yeah, here it is. Brand new channel, Chef Kevin Gilbert Food Rating Challenge. So that
There
is
we go.
available. So people in the Discord, I'm looking forward to this burger you built last night, Bad Shaw, being in there, and Chef Kevin Gilbert will share his thoughts.
I've got 4 pork shoulders that I'll be
Ooh.
smoking Saturday. So
Nice. Well, pictures
you
to
know.
come, or it didn't happen, Indy.
Oh yeah, well I got plenty. Yeah, I did ribs and everything last
Nice.
weekend, and so this weekend is pork shoulders, and we're gonna have some regular barbecue shredded
Ooh.
pork this weekend. So
I'm starving. That sounds good.
you know, we'll freeze some of it and ship it up to you.
Oh, nice.
There we
Send it
go.
up.
We can-
I will
yeah.
receive. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all. I just I don't understand the build and then want immediate at the same time, because the two don't go together.
Yeah.
So you know, I don't know who's starting for quarterback. I think AG took a shot on, just like Saleh took a shot on Rodgers. It didn't work out. It didn't work out any better than what Fields has worked out. You know, and so here we are in search of another quarterback. Whether we draft one, whether we you know, trade for one that's already. It seems
I
like
don't discriminate. I don't give a shit. Trade, sign.
Yeah, it
birth,
seems like we have better
whatever.
luck with trading. You go all the way back to the Testaverde era,
Sure.
or when Favre came, or any of these.
Sure.
We have better luck than we do drafting. But so we look at a free agent quarterback before I look at drafting quarterback.
Yeah, it may not be a bad choice, but Indy, thanks for kicking us off,
Appreciate it.
baby. And cheers. And yes, that food channel is now created on Discord. So again, the Chef Kevin Gilbert Food Rating Challenge. That channel is now open. So you guys are all available as a Boy Green Coffee Club member to have access to that Discord. Yeah, keep it rolling, baby. Keep it rolling. I see Hep said this. Box is cool. Yeah, Wayne Box Mellow, man. What a cool cat. What a cool customer. What a I don't know. He's just got this like vibe about him that I've really enjoyed. He's got this soul to him that is inspiring. He's told stories before because we had like a phone call before we did any of these interviews a couple of years ago, and I just got to hear his wisdom. And man, I was like, man, this guy has seen the world, man. So it's just cool. He's a super cool guy. So every time the Jets and Bengals play, I try to see if there's a way that he can work it in. And I said, I've got an afternoon thing with Woody if you want to do that. But I said, I'd love to have you on in the morning. He's like, I'm a morning guy. I'm like, all right, well, works for me. So am I. And here you go. Wayne Box Miller, part of the Cincinnati Bengals radio broadcast team. He's been a part of that broadcast team for a long time. So salute to Wayne, who already DM'd me and said, man, I love chopping up football. Yeah, you're welcome, Wayne. And shout out to you. Thank you. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Hepster joins us. Speaking of Hep, there he is.
Hey guys, hey Paul. Yeah, Wayne was really cool. I like Box. I liked his vibe. He really knows football.
For sure.
Laid back, and he's not. He has an open mind. He's a good talk. I like him.
And I appreciate him being a straight shooter, right? He's not like, oh boy, let's get I hope the Jets kick our Patuki. He's like, no, I absolutely want to beat you guys, and that's it. So he's a straight shooter, funny. Like, yeah, he was a great get. So I appreciate having him on the show.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this game. What we're going to have to see is if the defense is going to continue to grow, and is our offense going to show up. If we keep looking really mediocre against not mediocre, teams that are in our weight class, like you had.
Yeah, right.
Before, then we're really kind of like, I know we want to improve the culture, but how do you improve the culture when you keep losing in these crazy fashions?
100%.
it has to be disheartening for the players, especially the guys that have been here for so long. They're like, oh, here we go again. What is going on with this crap? I want to be a winner. I win
Yeah.
all the time, you know?
That's why I think the win is just so important that, like, Aaron Glenn's been saying, and Wayne was talking about patience, and, he thinks AG is the right guy. It's good. That's good to hear from the outside, of someone saying that. But I think to really reinstill the message to AG, Steve Wilkes, 10 rank stars, Tony, all this crap as a player all week. Boom, 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 boom. Then you lose on Sunday. You're like, weird. And then it happens again and again and again and again. So to have it like, no, this is it, guys. Bengals week. This is the plan. And it almost is even more important this week because we have the bye week next week. If the Jets lose, we're going to be sitting on this for 2 weeks. If we win, we sit on the positive vibes for 2 weeks. And then the trade deadline is sandwich in between. I think that affects the vibes of everything. So I think really for the players, it's seeing it manifest. The coach has been telling us all this stuff. Boom, we get a win. We beat the Bengals. Here it is. They've told us this is it, and there could be some buy-in, some belief, and all this done. Hope maybe that can resonate coming out of the bye week. They've got some fire, energy, chutzpah, because a lot of our Jets coaches have done terrible historically coming out of buys. When they've had extra time to prepare, it's been worse. So AG, this is first year. We're going to get the first sample of, like, does AG, when he has more time available for an opponent, does that help? Now it's going to be the Cleveland Browns. It's not exactly Super Bowl champions, but still, regardless of who the opponent is, what's the preparation coming out of the bye? The Jets should look even more prepared for the Browns game than they've looked for any other game this season outside of week 1 against Pittsburgh, where obviously they had months to prepare. They need to show that same chutzpah. That would be a great tip of the cap to Tanner and this coaching staff if they do coming out, and that would be week 10.
Yeah. One thing, I guess now would be if we could get pushed for that Matt Snell situation. This would be the best time for Woody with all this egg on his face to say, I better do something like to turn this around. Oh, no, I'll get Matt Snell and bring him into the stadium, and maybe that'll bring something around.
Again, if I'm Woody or Woody's team, I'm sure he's got a wonderful group of people around him for PR and things of that nature. The Matt Snell thing just seems like such an easy PR win. Bend the knee, swallow a little pride, and bring a Jets legend back home, and whatever that entails. I know we haven't talked about it in full flower here in a couple of weeks or months because of everything that's been going on, but it just feels like an easy PR win for Woody. I think he would win headlines. Rich Saminis and all these wonderful people would be talking about it, maybe even a little little media tour or something, whether it's not Matt Snell who wants to do it, but Woody or someone with the Jets or say, hey, look, Matt Snell. It just seems like a win in a season of losses. That would be refreshing.
Yeah, just especially this season. As far as the talking about the unbreakable records that Indy brought up, Cy Young is definitely one of them. He was. It's called the Cy Young Award for a reason.
Yeah, right.
But the other one is, I think, your Boston Celtics domination of the 1950s.
Oh, guys, all those championships in a row?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that again. That was crazy. What did they have, like 9 or something? Or 8?
Yeah, right. Well, Bill Russell ended up with 11, but so there was a break or two in there because it wasn't 11 straight. So there was a year or two where it was off.
Yeah.
But that's another really good one of championship glory, and with every league just having more and more teams, the parity of things that could just happen, injuries and all kinds of things, it makes it even more difficult. So, right, that's another record that probably will never be broken. I got to really start racking my brain around and see, is there a not so obvious one that is never going down? I got to think about that one.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you, Hep. Oh, the Jets never making the playoffs. I mean, how many other teams are going to go 15 years without making the playoffs? That could be an unbreakable record, for the love of God. That could totally be on there. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Mr. Famous Fulton is with us.
Good morning, Paul. How are you this morning?
Yeah, top of the morning to you, sir.
Top of the morning to you. So I was supposed to have an interview yesterday with the DJ.
Yeah.
But we got canceled.
Sorry.
Because of work and everything.
Sure.
But I did send everyone the link for the voting today.
Oh, great.
So you guys are welcome to vote for me.
Sure.
So we're getting ready for a big musical coming up pretty soon. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think the posters are coming out next. I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay.
The first week of November. So we'll get those done, and we'll get the tickets ready. So we'll be all prepared.
All right, nice. Yeah, make sure you keep sharing that link as long as I don't know how long you stay tuned into the show for how long it goes, but yeah, the YouTube comment section, if you just want to keep dropping that link, it'll keep going on new people. So feel free to drop that a couple of times, and I'm sure you'll all the fans here will jump on the train and vote for you.
Yep, and I just heard the news, the Today Show. They're saying John Bon Jovi is coming back on tour again for next year.
Nice. Okay. Are you guys doing something together?
Not yet. We're still working on it.
Okay, there you go. Not yet. That's the right answer, Mr. Famous. That's the right answer, pal.
Yep. So, well, you guys have a good one, and hopefully, your Jets will win the thing this time. And
we can only hope. Hey, by the way, real quick, what's that quote on the wall behind you there?
Oh, yes. It says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Joshua 1:9.
Amen. Thank you. We need that right now, Mr. Famous. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
There he is, Mr. Famous Fulton, joining us here on the show. And again, the link to vote for our guy, Mr. Famous Fulton, will be there available. I want to answer a couple more of these comments. So thank you to the couple hundred people that are in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. I see Habmo. Let's go, my boy Habmo. Jake, he's referencing Jake Hasman, is wasting his time trying to get AG fired. Let me say this. I don't tell fans how to fan. So Jake, I do weekly content with, if you guys are unaware. The Man Shut Show, Boy Green Digital. That's my radio show. That's full digital now. We do weekly interviews. You guys should be able to see that in my video section on my channel as well as a collaborator. But nonetheless, Jake is very upset, and I understand his anger. Right, the Jets are 0-7. There's been a lot of tomfoolery of inexplicable things that have happened with the end of half scenarios and this, that, or the other. But again, and Jake's very upset. He does not think that this is the right regime to be making the decision at quarterback. Woody Johnson, based on his comments this week, is sticking with AG, and that's something I agree with. I want to stick with AG. I want to see him work this thing through. He is learning on the job, and I think there are improvements. The other thing I haven't talked a lot about, but we've heard it from a few callers, is so the defense has played much better over the last 2 weeks. The special teams has played much better the last 2 weeks. Although special teams have been pretty good all year outside of some of the returners. Folk has been really good. Austin McNamara has been very good. But some of the things AG said, we got to figure out those penalties. The penalties have gone from 10, 11, 12 penalties a game to, it's completely, basically disappeared. So AG has been pressing the right buttons for penalties. That's another positive. Now, the Jets are 0-7, so I understand that some of these positives will fall on deaf ears, and that's fine. But, yeah, so I'm not going to tell a fan how to fan. If Jake wants to express himself in that way with his passion, he's more than open to that's his opinion. That's his take. He can have them. So I don't, he doesn't believe in this regime, and they haven't shown him a lot of reasons to believe in him. So that's his take. That's his opinion. And he's right to have it. He can have it. For me, I'm not giving up on this regime. I think I've seen some signs from AG. I want to see more signs, and I want to see wins. And I don't blame Jake for wanting more wins. Let me go to Taylor here. He says, how is the guy who threw more picks? How is the guy who throws picks more playable? He's talking about my comment about Tyrod Taylor, Justin Fields. While Tyrod Taylor is not great, again, he has a pick six, a strip sack fumble, and then 2 picks in the Panthers game. How is he more playable than Justin? Well, to me, it's just look at the product on the field. Justin Fields had -10 net passing yards, and then he had 40 passing yards in the first half. Those are anemic numbers that are just simply not happening around the league consistently. The Jets are playing a different sport to what everyone else is playing. Everyone else is playing American football. The Jets are playing water polo. I have no idea what they're playing on the field sometimes in these halves. And offensively, obviously, over the last 2 weeks. Tyrod Taylor's taking chances. And let's see what Tyrod actually looks like being the guy, right? So week 3 stepped in because of injury. Last week, he stepped in at halftime. What about the keys of the car just being handed to Tyrod and say, hey, man, you're the guy. Let's ride. Let's see what happens. I'm curious to see what Tyrod Taylor we get against Cincinnati Bengals. That's not official yet, but that's been reported by Rich Cimini that they're going to Tyrod Taylor. So what does he look like? He's willing to take chances. He's accumulating passing yards. Justin Fields is not doing that. So there's some level of ball movement that's happening here. I just think Justin Fields has reached a point. Maybe it could change, hopefully for Justin. I like Justin. He seems like a good guy, but he's in his own head. He can't get out of it. He's struggling, and he can't pass the football. He is not trusting what his eyes see. A perfect example in that Panthers game in the first half is the play assist. Bluebird, 22, hike the ball, Justin, turn immediately to your side and throw it to Arian Smith. Arian Smith is open. Justin Fields snaps the ball, looks, and hesitates and holds, and they get sacked for a massive loss. And you're like, whoa, Justin, throw the ball, man. It's right there. Hike, throw. It gets no more simple than that, and that was a sack. Like, these are plays that can't be sacks for Justin Fields. They're trying to play things closer to the vest with the screen. It's not that difficult. Hike the ball and chuck it out to Arian Smith. Hope he breaks a tackle or something. But he just didn't throw the ball. So I think he's in his own head. It's unplayable at this point. But hopefully that changes for Justin, because here's the key is Tyrod Taylor, even if he gets the keys to the car for this game and the rest of the season, like, he can't stay healthy. So, like, Justin's eventually coming back out unless they make Justin Fields a third quarterback. So he's got to figure it out quick. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah, that's what I would say. Real quick, let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. And like I said, we'll have to dip here because we got another interview coming up. But we will have Boy Green Meets Woody coming up at 3 o'clock. We have a special interview. Again, only Boy Green Coffee Club members will be able to see that today with a very special guest. I have his book right here. It's off camera. You can't see it, but it's under this notebook. I don't even know if you can't even see the notebook. That's just a tissue box. But underneath this tissue box is a notebook. And underneath this notebook is another notebook, actually. And then underneath that notebook is a book. And that book, this guy that's joining us on the show wrote. We'll be talking New York Jets. We'll be talking about this book. And this book has a Jets chapter in it, as a matter of fact. And I think some of you guys are going to really enjoy it. So, again, that interview will be coming later today for Boy Green Coffee Club members. It'll go to the general public maybe 24 or 48 hours later. So the rest of you will be able to see it on Friday or Saturday. So it's going to be great. I can't wait. An absolute icon in the business. So I want to thank you guys for joining us here on a Thursday. Again, another shout out to the great Wayne Box Miller, who's terrific and absolutely exciting. So that is wonderful. I loved having Wayne on the show, and many more to come. I want to give a big shout out to everyone that gifted today. Troy Sturgis, number one Austrian Jet fan, Hop on Pop. Thank you guys for all the activity. And again, keep getting involved in our raffle. We have a massive raffle coming for the month of November. I think you guys are really going to enjoy that as well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you next time.